Salam guys, and welcome to day one of my Ramadan diaries. I hope the first day of Ramadan is going well for you. So today I've got a recipe for some stir fry. This is my take on stir fry, so it won't kind of be the typical stir fries that you get in restaurants or whatever. This is just going to be added spices and things like that. So to make the stir fry, you will need 1 kg of chicken. This is chicken breast and I've cut it into like medium sized pieces, I'd say. You'd need some stir fry vegetables. This is already a pre-pack that you get from Tesco and it's got like mushrooms and other vegetables in it. You need some diced onions, some noodles. These are medium egg noodles. Again, I bought these from Tesco. You're going to need some sliced peppers. These are red, green and yellow peppers. You're going to obviously need some soya sauce, some black pepper, some paprika, some cayenne pepper, dried coriander, cumin seeds and some red chili flakes. You'll also need salt based on how much you prefer, and a bit of oil just to stir fry the things in. Okay, so firstly you're gonna have to start off with boiling some water for the noodles. So I pre-boiled this water and I added a bit of like a pinch of salt in there to prevent the noodles from sticking to each other. I then added the noodles and left them in there for about 5 minutes, gave them a stir and then just checked if they were done. You'll be able to tell you don't want to overdo the noodles. You want to keep them quite like solid, just because we're gonna obviously put them in the wok afterwards to stir fry them. So that's what you're gonna have to do, and then take it off the heat. Now that that's done, we're gonna take it off the heat and then drain the water. On the other gas, you'll need to start making your wok warm. So in this wok, I've got it on a low temperature and I've put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in here. Okay, so firstly start off by putting, I'm going to say about a handful of diced onions into the wok. It's just going to have to give the chicken some taste. I like to pre-cook the chicken just because I like it when the spices are inside the chicken and the chicken is nice and spicy to my liking. So carry on stirring that. Okay. And put up the heat to medium heat. Then we're going to go in and add the chicken. Just add it all at once. It'll just make everything a bit easier. If you're a bit scared or if your wok is smaller, you might need to kind of put it in bits, but add it all together and make sure you're mixing it really well. We don't want the onions to go too brown. We just want them to give a nice taste and texture to the chicken. Now we're gonna go ahead and add 1 garlic and ginger frozen cube. This is just again gonna give the chicken some nice taste, and it's just gonna help all the spices to blend well and for everything to just be really well balanced. As you guys can see, the chicken is now turning white, which means obviously it's cooking. You may need to adjust the heat depending on how warm or cold your wok is. Okay, so the chicken's been cooking now for around 5 minutes. I also added a bit of salt while the chicken was cooking just to spread the taste and make sure all the chicken is covered with salt and actually has some taste rather than being so bland. I cooked it on a high heat. You just want to make sure that the chicken doesn't have no water, like there's no water left in the pan and it doesn't stay raw. Also make sure that you're stirring it quite frequently, because it's on a high heat it does have a tendency to stick to the bottom. So now that the chicken's thoroughly cooked, we're going to go ahead and add all of the spices. So I've put the gas down to a low heat and now we're going to go ahead and add the first spice. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of crushed chilies. These are also known as red chili flakes. You obviously, up to you how much you add, and you might find later on that you might need to add some more, but this is just a starting point. I do think it's going to be enough for my taste anyways. Then I'm going to go in and add 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. This is just going to give the chicken a really nice taste and flavor without, it's just going to balance everything without making everything seem too spicy or too bland. Then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of dry coriander. Make sure you're sprinkling that around so all the chicken's covered. Then I'm going to add half a teaspoon of black pepper. Then I'm going to go ahead and add half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. You get this at most supermarkets, just in the spices aisle, you'll find it there. It just gives the chicken a really nice colour and a bit more bang. Then I'm going to go ahead and add some paprika, about half a teaspoon again. Paprika is probably one of my favourite spices. I think it gives the chicken a really nice taste as well as colour. Then go ahead and stir all of those spices together. You will also see at this point if you feel like you need any more spices just by looking at it or tasting it for that matter, to add any extra chili or whatever. But just make sure you're thoroughly stirring the chicken so all the spices are cooking nicely and the chicken is evenly coated. Once you stir the chicken, it should look like this. Make sure you're thoroughly stirring the chicken so all the spices are evenly coating all of the chicken rather than leaving some white. It should be like a pale yellow colour, and then you know that it's cooked. Then you want to whack up the heat and add the remainder of the onions. I would say it's about a handful of diced onions. Stir that very well as well. Then add in the sliced peppers. It's really important that you keep the heat high at this stage, just because you want the vegetables to cook quite fast because the chicken is already quite cooked. So then add the remainder of the vegetables. So these are the vegetables from the packet that I showed you guys at the beginning of this video. So add the whole packet. You're going to need the whole packet. I'm not entirely sure what the portion sizes are of this particular recipe, but I feel like it's going to feed quite a lot of people, because as you guys can see, my wok has now become a bit too small. However, carry on stirring. The vegetables will shrink and hopefully you will have a very nice looking stir fry. Perseverance is everything, guys. Persevere. Once you stir the vegetables thoroughly, they should look something like this. They will shrink ever so slightly. Just keep in mind that the vegetables aren't hard. The last thing you want is the chicken to be soft and the vegetables hard. Keep the gas on high heat. And now I think it's time to add in the soy sauce. So I'm going to add in about 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. And then I'm going to stir everything thoroughly. Make sure you're stirring thoroughly to coat the chicken again with the soy sauce. You don't want to have some chicken that doesn't taste of soy sauce and some chicken that does. You may also feel the need to add a bit more soy sauce. Again, this recipe is very much to personal preference. Don't feel pressurized in adding any spices that you may not have. You can easily substitute them for other spices that you might have at home. Now that we've thoroughly stirred the chicken and added all the spices and things that we needed to add, I'm going to add in the noodles. This is the funniest part of this whole recipe, I feel. If your noodles are properly cooked, you will find that this part is going to be a breeze. And no matter what you do, your noodles won't stay hard. However, if they're not cooked properly, then your noodles will stay hard and all your hard work will go to waste. So make sure your noodles are cooked, guys. Make sure. Anyway, back to the video. So I'm gonna thoroughly stir everything together. So guys, this is how the noodles should look once you've thoroughly stirred everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, then please don't forget to subscribe and comment down below if you make this recipe. Also, I'm going to be putting a full ingredient list on my blog just because I feel like some people will really benefit from exact measurements and things like that. If you do decide to make this, then please post a picture on my Instagram using the hashtag jemimas-world Ramadan recipes. And I hope you have a very nice day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!